Your Olympic hero has arrived. It's true, it's true.
You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Drive-Thru, and another ranty one, sort of. So lately, at work, right, they updated all the computers, and initially that was really frustrating, because that made it so we had to get a lot of our resources back, and at first they weren't working properly. Like, we have templates that we use in order to do our paperwork and stuff like that, and some of that, you know, is stuff that we submit in emails and stuff like that, and initially, it wouldn't all work. Like, Microsoft Excel just wasn't fucking working with the spreadsheets we were doing for a minute there, because they changed the way that a lot of the file system worked, and it was really a pain in the ass to get it back to where we had it. And I have it back to where I had it more or less now. But another really irritating thing that they did was they also said, oh yeah, now we're not going to use a local printer anymore, now we're going to use cloud printing. And then they had a link to go to. And when you click the link, it says, this link is expired. And then there's another link that they had that's like, okay, click to sign in. You click to sign in, and it just says, oh, the link is expired. It's just this endless loop, round and round. So the actual hard copy paperwork that we use, I just have printed out templates, and I just copy it and fill it out by hand. That's the way I've been handling it lately, because it's, there's no other way to really do it, because the way the printer works just doesn't fucking work anymore. And there's no way to actually get the cloud shit working. And as I've said, communication is not exactly the strong suit at my work. Another thing that's been kind of frustrating is our newer manager, who's been manager for a few months now, has us come in early, as supervisors, to get set up, right? Because he wants to do like a small sort where we get started a little bit earlier than the actual like main start time. And I'm all for that because we've had a lot more volume lately. But the problem is, he hasn't been having people come in, so we're not really able to get started early. So we come in, we get set up super early, and then we're just standing around twiddling our thumbs until people come in around the time we would have normally started anyway. It's been really frustrating in that regard. We also have scales that we use to weigh trailers and stuff like that that haven't worked in like forever. And when we need to do a triple set, we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to weigh them. And then they expect us to do triples because of the higher volume, right? But we can't fucking do that because we don't have working scales, because we can't send them if they're not weighed. And they've messaged the maintenance guy so many times, and he still hasn't fucking fixed it. They still haven't sent us any new scales, and they sent us like 6 fucking sets of scales. Only one scale kind of sort of works, and you need 2 scales to weigh a trailer. And the scales that they have, one of them kind of works, and it only works for like 2 seconds and then it immediately dies. It doesn't hold a charge, no matter how long you leave it on the fucking charger. And like half the others, the charging ports are broken because it's this cheap-ass Chinese scales that don't fucking work properly with the prongs that go into the charger. And so they get all bent and fucked up. I know I talked about the scales, I think, in another episode previously, but it's just compounding. Like, we found ways to get the stuff worked out and, you know, use other sets and stuff like that and get things to work out more or less. But there's just a lot of extra added headache and a lack of communication. And it's really frustrating. Again, computer updates were already fucking annoying. And then the printer thing is really fucking annoying. The scale thing is fucking annoying. So there's just a lot of little problems that are frustrating. Like, granted, it doesn't make anything, like, it doesn't make it, like, unbearable. But it's just a lot of little inconveniences that add up throughout the day that make you kind of annoyed. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I don't have a whole ton that I wanted to go on with this one. It was actually going to be a lot more ranty at one point, but I'm not really all that aggravated right now recording it. I've been meaning to do this one for a while now, and, you know, if there's one thing I am, it's adaptable, so I've, you know, made it work, given the circumstances. But it's just a lot of the little things that can be really frustrating, right? And, you know, with the communication, there's also the language barrier of, like, most of the people that they hire new don't speak English, and that gets really frustrating, too. That's a whole other issue I've already covered in a previous episode. But yeah, I guess that's really it. I expected to have more to say about this, but I guess I didn't really have as much as I thought I did, because it's a pretty simple issue, but nevertheless, it is a frustrating issue. Anyway, that's it for this Tales from the Drive-Thru. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Toodle.
You take forever to say nothing.
Fuck it. We've come this far.